very beginnings. And so you don't have a lot of case law about everyday people making exact copies of physical objects, and certainly not a lot of case law about people being able to do that on a large scale. The good thing, hopefully, is that the industries that are disrupted by 3D printing have the model of the music industry to maybe learn from. The music industry, when someone started copying things, decided the best thing to do was take their time and their money and invest it in suing everyone they could find and try and stop the progress of technology. That didn't work very well. And so the hope is that these creators, when they see this new technology, they capture some of the upside and they say, oh, wait, this can change my business for the better. And they do that. It's a hard thing to do, but the music industry has taught us that it may be the thing they have to do.
3D printing is going to have a profound impact on all of us, whether you consider yourself a designer or not. In the future, there are going to be 3D printers that will allow you to actually create three-dimensional structures out of living cells. And they can build very complex structures like blood vessels or skin tissue. And the idea there is that in 10 or 20 years, these scientists are going to be able to 3D print tissue that can replace damaged vessels of the heart. Or they're going to be able to print replacement organs. So you won't have to go to find an organ donor anymore. You'll just be able to have one 3D printed at the hospital based on your own cell and your own genetic makeup. Right now at MIT, scientists are working on 3D printers that would actually allow you to print food. And who wouldn't want that in their house, right? If you could just ask Siri to cook you a steak. I mean, it's really going to be an exciting time in the home. In Japan, there's a company that's taking sonogram data. So they scan a pregnant woman's belly, and they're able to actually 3D print a figure of her torso. So instead of just having a fuzzy little black and white picture, you're getting a real model of what your child is going to look like. People are using 3D printers to do all sorts of interesting things in terms of the environment. Researchers are using 3D printers that can print concrete to make replacements for parts of the Great Barrier Reef that have been damaged. Normally, those reefs take thousands of years to build, but what these scientists do is they find the areas that are damaged, they make CAD replicas of those damaged areas, and they print them in concrete. So it's a base structure upon which coral can create a top layer, and that helps reinvigorate the environment and helps return normality to that area. I mean, one of the coolest things about 3D printing is that it's a community that never stops innovating. There are hundreds of innovators who are making little tweaks to these products, who are trying out different things, and so it really gives everybody an opportunity to create anything they could imagine.
3D printing is the next wave of how brands and consumers can engage, and now we're just starting to see that happen.
In a few years' time, they're going to be no more difficult to use or difficult to understand than a camera phone.
The way to protect creators and designers is to make sure to give people a way to spend money on 3D printed things.
In the future, we're going to see a lot more people unleashing their pent-up creativity, and that's what's most exciting for me.